Hello, beautiful and amazing humans. Thank you once again for joining me on the Mahdi podcast. Let's get right into it. Let's dive into the deep. So, we last finished off on taking that first step onto the spiritual mountain. But the question now is, where do we go from here? What does the next step look like? And what am I getting out of this? Let's face it, one day we're all going to die, and maggots will be feasting on our bodies. But what happens next? What happens to our spirits? Do we continue to live on in a different form? Do we become butterflies? Do we become beings of light? Do we become reincarnated? Is it just black? Is it nothing? What does it become? Well, that's a question that you're going to be able to answer within yourself, and we're going to find out together. Also, what is the goal of life? What are we all doing here? Are we here to simply pass through and accomplish nothing? Are we here to just snap our fingers and wake up on our deathbed taking our last breath and regret? Or are we on a journey? Are we on a boat that's called Earth, and there's a certain destination? We're not sure where that destination is, but do we resist? Do we fight it? Or do we flow with it? Do we trust? Do we trust fall? And do we become harmonious with this journey and this destination? That's a question that we are going to answer as we continue diving into the deep. So, I have a question for you. Let's just pretend that we are all traveling on this boat, and for whatever reason, it's nighttime. None of us can see much because it's dark, and this boat is called Earth, right? So we're on this planet called Earth. The lights are off, and throughout our entire existence, we're not able to see clearly because, let's face it, we can't see well in the dark. We're not nocturnal. What I mean by that is spiritual vision. I don't mean physical vision because, of course, with technology, we're able to do so many things. But we're on this boat called Earth, and us, humanity, existence, creation, as a collective, nature, everything, we're unable to see the other side. What I mean by that is the truth. Existence, creation, infinite, the creator, reality. What is the full reality? And if you were to turn on the spiritual light, all of a sudden you can see. And you'd be able to see everything. You'd be able to see what is called the unseen, or the source, or the infinite. And for whatever reason, the lights are off. It just means the spiritual light. Some people call it the third eye, or God consciousness. However, no one can claim to know everything unless that claimant was the creator. So let's imagine that one day the creator turns on the light. Flick, and the light goes on, and all things that are created, the created, nature, humanity, everything, labeled as the created, all of a sudden can see. In a funny way, it's kind of like being at a restaurant or a bar at a nightclub, and all of a sudden it's time to go home. They shut the music off, they turn the lights on, and you realize, oh my goodness, what have I been doing these last few hours? And people's makeup are melting off, and we're sweating and it's a funny, comical scene, and you're like, yeah, it's time to go home. Okay, was not expecting that. Because again, the lights come on, the truth is revealed, right? The facade is over. And so essentially, when the lights come on, we realize that, truthfully, this world is a physical passing through. We cannot and will not live on this world physically forever, and we will die. And we can't pretend that we are invincible or unstoppable or unafraid, because who doesn't want to live forever and ever, right? Although some difficult experiences in passing, obviously the positive, loving, happy-go-lucky feeling experiences outweigh those ones, and therefore we all choose life over death. So we can't pretend that we're these courageous, unstoppable beings and we're not afraid to know what will happen when we die. Because it's a scary thought. It's a scary feeling. However, it is the inevitable destination. So imagine the Creator turns on the light. We're all in this ship, passing through the dark, and all of a sudden, the spiritual light turns on, flick, and we can see everything. And so that is the answer to the question of what will you get out of this? What are you going to gain by choosing to climb this spiritual mountain? The answer is the truth. And the truth is very simple, yet very complicated. And that is why we as a humanity have such a difficult time figuring it out. Because if we were all aware of the truth, we would all be living harmoniously, peacefully, and in unity. Because although through our ego mind, through our manifest physical ability to perceive and see, we see things as separate. However, in reality, everything is one. The spirit is all connected to all things, and energy is all connected to all things, and nature is all connected to all things. Hey, we breathe with the trees, and the trees breathe with us. The sun works harmoniously with the earth, and we with the sun. And the water and the rivers and the rains are all connected to the clouds and all things, and humanity and nature and animals and everything, the cycle of life, it is all connected. And so, again, when the spiritual light turns on, we're able to see the truth as, imagine an observer that was watching a movie could see the beginning, the middle, and the end, and then some. And so what that means is that the truth is we are all one being. Even though the ocean has thousands of rivers, it is still the ocean. And let's go even deeper. It's a body of water. However, there are millions and billions and trillions of molecules within those bodies of water. And although scientifically it appears as if these molecules are separate, in reality they're all connected. We are all connected. And so what that means is, as we continue to climb the spiritual mountain, we become closer to the truth. We become closer to the source, because there is only one truth. The truth is the truth is the truth. And there can only be one truth. And the truth is a fact, such as, hey, you one day are going to die in this physical world. What comes after that? No one knows, and no one can pretend to know. That is a truth. However, what is your goal before you face this reality? Is your goal to stay asleep and sleepwalk as you sleepwalk in darkness, in spiritual darkness, live in fear, anxiety, pain, oppressed and suppressed emotions, and essentially, as we comically create these movies and these kind of sci-fi, fantasy, thriller shows, comics, movies, games about zombies, we're not actually far from that reality. When I talk about that, it means sleepwalking through life, not feeling our feelings, not being happy, not feeling happy, not being at peace, not living in truth, perhaps not allowing the truth to live internally and externally. What is the benefit? What is the benefit from that? Well, the benefit is that we find peace, we become fulfilled, and we reunite ourselves with the oneness of all things. Even though the river is an extension of the ocean, the river has chosen to live harmoniously with all things nature, and there's no resistance. It becomes a flow. And when there's a flow, that allows the circle to continue infinitely. Okay? And so the goal is, as we climb this mountain, what we get in return is we become more at peace. We also become fulfilled. And how do you become fulfilled? You become happy. Well, isn't that the goal for everyone? Isn't the number one goal to feel happy? And how do you feel happy? Is it a brand new car? Is it winning the lottery? Is it millions of dollars? Is it nice clothing? Is it friends? Is it family? What is it? What is being happy? Well, the simple answer is love. Because everything we do is for love. Whether it's for attention, which is love, whether if it's for temporary fulfillment, it's for love. The answer to every equation of wanting to find happiness is love. So we feel a certain feeling, and this feeling we label within ourselves as love, and this is what these experiences give us. And so That is what you get out of this. That is the ultimate goal of this journey. That is the ultimate destination of this journey. And again, it sounds so simple, yet so complicated. And it sounds bizarre, but really it's not, because we as humans, we as nature, we as all things have been created because of love. We have been created through love, and our number one priority, core, essence, goal is love. Now, love is many things. It's infinite things. And that is something that only the self will be able to understand and identify and define as the self climbs through the spiritual mountain. Okay? And to put things into simple perspective, we can use two examples. One, just to use an example, we can use someone suffering and experiencing a world where they are experiencing homelessness or poverty, or in for example, a refugee camp, sadly, and they are giving very little or having almost nothing or living a very simple life. And perhaps they get a fresh piece of bread, fresh right out of the oven. Can't even believe it. Wow, this is amazing. I am so grateful. I cannot believe it. I have fulfilled my needs. Thank you so much to the source or to whoever has provided me with this, the earth. This is amazing. I am so fulfilled with this amazing, tasting, simple bread that I have now eaten. And now do the same thing to now, quote unquote, spoiled or essentially gluttonous, greedy, and lost in ego, haven't even taken one step on this spiritual mountain, kind of attached to the physical. Give them the same bread, or better yet, the best steak money can buy, and one bite of that thing, before you know it, wow, this is terrible. It's not medium. I wanted medium. It's medium rare. The steak is horrible. This is the wrong cut. What is this bread? It's disgusting. And so now you get two different results in two different situations with the same exact variables. And how does that happen? Because it's not a physical variable. It is a spiritual, emotional, mental variable. And so you tell me who in this situation is happier. And you tell me what the benefits of being happy are. Because imagine being happy 100% of the time. From the second you wake up to the second you fall asleep, from the second you were born to the second that you die, you are 100% happy all of the time. And you are so happy that it becomes viral, that your parents become happy, your children, your friends, your family, and everyone and everything around you become happy. Happy, happy, happy. And this is the highest level of vibration, and you are fulfilled, and you are filled with love, and you are also creating a chain reaction of love. What does that world look like? What would it look like by the time you reach your deathbed? How many lives have you touched with this ray of sunshine and sunlight? And so that is what you will get out of committing to the self and going inside and being willing to take the step, one step at a time, until eventually we and you reach this destination of love, enlightenment, happiness, peace, and all things fall behind that. Because when in a state of infinite, harmonious, perfect love, grounding connection, you have now attained enlightenment, and you have reached this stage, you have reached this level. And everything, just like when you're a child, just walking through nature or running in the park or whatever that experience is and was that you've tasted, felt, smelt, heard, and all your senses have become just absolutely overwhelmed with beauty and joy and happiness, we can create. Again, we've had it. We can create that. We can create that every moment, every second. We can create that infinitely. It can become a part of your existence and your reality and your being. Imagine that. And I can promise you that by the time the Grim Reaper comes and it's time to taste death, you will be welcoming him with open arms, because you have reached the level of enlightenment and happiness and fulfillment and connection to the source and nature. And so that's what you're going to get. Because imagine a life of that. What would your life look like if you never felt stress, if you never felt anxious, if you were able to look at all things and allow things to flow through you and empower you, and you never felt afraid or worried or nervous, and you were able to feel happy all the time and vibrating and full of life? Well, I can tell you firsthand, let's climb this mountain together and let's attain this together, because we're all in this together. We're all on the ship together, whether we like it or not. Hey, let's learn from the past and let us work together as a team to climb this mountain. And so, sum up the confidence, the courage to take that next step. And what happens is your legs become stronger. You become more durable. You gain endurance. You gain faith and belief and confidence and all of the things. And you become stronger mind, body, and soul. And then the benefit, that exchange, that benefit becomes hand in hand. As I climb this mountain, I connect to nature more, I connect to the earth more, I connect to the self more, to God, to the source, to all things, and I let go of what I had to let go of in the last step. I let go of the past that was my teacher, that was my experience, that was my guide, was something that is now no longer a part of me or mine. And I also am not going to rush to step on the third step, because the future is something that is not tangible in the now. And I'm going to enjoy the second step. I'm going to enjoy the now of this second step. I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to take a moment to pause, to breathe, to see, to appreciate, to allow my senses to become overwhelmed with joy, and to continue to open myself, my heart, my mind, my body, my soul. Wow, that feels good. And I feel lighter, and I feel simultaneously happier, and I feel grounded and living now more in the moment and in the now. And suddenly, I don't feel worried, and I'm not thinking about the last step or the next step. I'm not thinking about the past or the future, because I'm living right here, right now. Letting go of what's not mine. Letting go and shedding that ego one layer at a time. And being excited about the journey of what's to come. But also enjoying the moment that is now. The moment that is me. And allowing that inner child to flourish and to grow and to smile ear to ear as I continue to live in the moment and trust. Because we have two choices. We can resist the ship or the boat called Earth and its destination. We can try to fight it. We can try to fight all of the perceived negative things that are happening in the world, such as strife and poverty, oppression, war, natural disasters, crime, fear, and the list goes on. We can become afraid. We can curl up into a ball, into a turtle, and we can resist, and we can just blot out any ounce of sunlight or energy, because guess what? If I close myself off, I'm going to be safe. Well, just like a flower, if a flower was to remain in darkness, the flower will not flourish. And so the flower has to take it all. The tree has to take it all. The winds, the storms, the suns, the light, the darkness, everything. And if you observe a flower or some trees or nature, you'll see that it flows with all energies, not labeling, not judging, not curling up and becoming afraid, but essentially flowing with the winds. And as we are on this ship named the Earth, we have a choice. Do we resist? Do we fight? Do we turtle? If we do that, we freeze. We do not grow. Nothing changes. We will never grow. We will become anxious and afraid. And as that clock continues to tick, we'll try to poke our heads up once in a while and realize the world has passed us by and I have not changed. I continue to live in anger, fear, darkness, anxiety, sadness, depression, and wow, now my time has come. Now I live in regret. Or we can choose to flow with the winds and continue to to flow with the tides and to allow the wind to empower us and allow that negative energy and the positive energy to both work hand in hand and to push us and to sway with these energies and to flow and to let things go and to keep ourselves open, because we will grow and we will attain happiness, fulfillment, truth, peace. And so, whether we like it or not, we are on this ship. We are on this ship together. We have been created against our own will, and we will die against our own will. And so, the ultimate destination, the ultimate goal is to be happy, is to feel love 100% of the time. And the only way to get there, the best part, is that it is within the self, which means that nothing and no one has any power over you at all other than yourself. And so there are no external factors, unless they're, of course, affecting your survivorhood. There are no external factors that can take this away from you. And that's the best part. The blueprint is within the self. The blueprint is within the heart. And when we realize this, we become closer to the truth, and we begin to identify what fulfills us and what makes us happy, and where the source is and where our power is. Because just like a cell phone, the things that connect to that cell phone, even though you can't see it, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all those things, are still creating that connection, that source, that power, the internet, your ability to talk to each other, to FaceTime each other, to watch this video right now, to listen to music. That's all powered from the same source. And so where do you think you're powered from? And what do you think it looks like if you try to fight that source? And now you understand why you're feeling all these feelings and thoughts that might feel overwhelming or negative. But when we choose to connect in the same direction as the source, when we choose to connect to flow with those winds, even no matter how hard or difficult that they get, when we choose to trust no matter what, and to have faith no matter what, and to rely on the source, that is when we become masters of the ship master, or the captain, or whatever you want to call it, and you become a leader within the self, within your circle of friends and family, your communities, and everything around you, and we become one with nature. And we realize, we look at all these things in the world, and we realize, hey, you know what? That's the will of God. That's the will of nature. That's not up to me. But I know what I can control. I can control the self and everything around me. So I'm going to continue to take these steps on the spiritual mountain, and I am going to continue to become stronger and increase my faith and my capacity. And I am going to continue to enjoy every single step along the way, and lessen my burden and lighten my burden and give that back to the source and ground myself and keep my heart open and take that step one step at a time and enjoy it. And wow, do I feel good? Do I feel happy? Do I feel fulfilled and grateful as I continue to step closer and closer towards the truth? And so we leave it at that. Enjoy the second step. Enjoy the moment that is you. Love yourself. And as you love yourself, you attain happiness, and you love the source, and you become one with all things. So enjoy this moment, and join me next time as we continue to climb the spiritual mountain together. Thank you so much for listening. Salam alaikum, goodbye, namaste, and you know where to find us on YouTube, username Rocket Alush, Instagram, Facebook, and we've got a podcast, the Mahdi Podcast, Mahdi Podcast. Thank you so much. Please spread the message, spread these videos, the podcasts, listen, tune in, share from wherever you are. Thank you so much. Have yourself an incredible day.